This is every side Easter egg in The Reckoning. For this first one, you are going to need the Gorgofex wonder weapon. You can either build it or just get it from the mystery box. If you don't know how to build it, there is a segment in this video where I show you how to. I will leave the timestamp in the description. But once you've got the Gorgofex wonder weapon, in the spawn room, come up to this barrier where you can see there are some cubicles. Spray paint this first door and it will open. On the ground, you will then see a mini Aetherella statue. Shoot it with a charged shot of the Gorgofex, in which it will float and begin to follow you. You now want to make your way to the Pack-a-Punch room and jump into this beam where Aetherella will follow you and go into the beam herself. Once you make it to the other side, you then want to jump into the beam again, but this time you want to move left or right to bump into her. And if you do it successfully, she will then continue following you, this time shooting lasers from her eyes, killing anything around you. This is obviously kind of similar to the Liberty Falls Easter egg, where you could become a bigger version of Aetherella. This next side Easter egg is going to give you a free perk, so if you just make your way to the very top of Tower 1 in the Executive Suite and look down over the barrier, you will see on this structure right here, there is a Mr. Peaks bunny rabbit. Or you might not be able to see him because he's so far away, but just shoot where I'm shooting right here, and when you hit him, he will float up, land on the rail, you then go up and interact with him, he will float away, and you will then notice a bunch of rings below you. And as you may have guessed, you need to parachute through all of these rings right to the bottom floor. But you need to do it in one go, so you can't land, and if you miss a ring, you are going to need to start again from the top floor. It's actually not too bad if you miss, because the rings don't disappear, they are always there in your game, meaning you can just go right back to the top and start again. But just like I am, parachute through each and every single ring in this first floor, make your way through the gap without landing, through all of the rings on the second floor, and then through the gap again without touching the sides, going through every single ring, and once you've done so successfully, you will be able to collect a free perk at the bottom. For this next side Easter egg, you can get different rewards depending on which round you are on and how many times you do it, because you can do this a total of 3 times per game. And also, from what I noticed, you are going to need a weapon with some kind of scope on it. It doesn't have to be a sniper, I wouldn't recommend that, but like I am, I'm using a submachine gun with a very zoomed out scope on it. When I used a holographic, for example, it didn't work for me. But in the spawn area, just stand on the Project Janus logo right here, and then shoot the Project Janus logo on the TV, and a target trial is going to begin. You've got to shoot 9 targets within a certain amount of time. They're pretty easy to see because they're highlighted in red, but they're small and all around you. So standing where you are, shoot all 9 targets, and if you do it within the time limit, you will get a reward. Because I was on a pretty low round, well, it's not that low, it's 19, my reward wasn't great, but if you go up a few rounds and try it again, you might get something better. This next side Easter egg might have the best rewards out of any of them, and funnily enough, it's also probably the easiest as well. In Tower 1, on the top floor and the bottom floor, there are multiple bins that you can scavenge. You simply need to find 4 loot items from these bins. So on the top floor, they look like this, circular and silver. There are multiple of them spread out everywhere. Just go up to them, press the interactive button, and you might get something from them. And then once you've gone through every trash can here, go to the bottom floor and search through these ones. These trash cans look different, they're square, but press the interactive button on them, and when you've received 4 pieces of loot, you can then come up to the bin right where you spawn in, and it will now be glowing gold. Interact with it, and it will give you so much loot. Like I said, in terms of rewards, this is probably the best one in the game. Next up, we have the jump scare side Easter egg. As always, you are going to need a sniper rifle for this, with a proper scope as well. So either put one on your loadout, or you can get one from the mystery box. But on the top floor of Tower 1, come up to where the jump pad is, look through this little barrier, through this gap into the valley, and you will notice on the hill is a picnic blanket. Just stare at it through your sniper scope for a couple of seconds, and you get the Samuel jump scare. This next side Easter egg is also very easy. You just find 3 paintings around the map, and in return you will get 1500 points. The first painting can be found in the spawn area. Once you've turned on the power and activated Pack-a-Punch, this room opens up where the teleporter is, and behind the door there is the first painting. You can just pick that up. Once you've got it in the director's office, you will notice on the wall there are 3 blank spaces for paintings, so go up to this one, place it on the wall, and you will receive 1500 essence. The next painting can be found in the Pack-a-Punch room, just up this corner right here. It's quite difficult to see because of how dark it is, but just come to where I am, pick up that painting, go back to the director's office and place it on the wall right here. You will get another 500 points. And then the third and final portrait can be found in the Android assembly where you build Klaus near the jump pad, leaning up against this column. It is right there. Pick it up, take it back to the director's office, place it on the final blank space on the wall, and you will get another 500 essence. Another easy one, right next to that in the director's office, there are pool balls on the wall, and if you shoot the ones numbered 115 in this order, so on the top row, shoot the number 1, on the second row, shoot the number 1 again, and then on the bottom row, shoot the number 5, you will get a free self-revive. And also, this is an Easter egg in all of the maps, just in case you didn't know, shoot the balls on the pool table and you will get a free 100 essence. This next side Easter egg is quite fun. On the top floor of Tower 1 in the executive suite, there is a shelf right here with a chicken bucket on it. Throw an explosive at it, it will fall down onto this desk, and now what you've got to do is find 6 pieces of chicken, 6 chicken legs in this room. So the first one is on this table. I'm not exactly sure if there are more spawn locations than what I'm showing you here, but either way, the 6 chicken pieces will always be located in this room and this room only. Not the next one, not upstairs, this tiny room, so there's not much area to search for, they're just really small and quite difficult to see. These are all of the places I found them, but once you've got 6, you can then approach the chicken bucket on the table and your character will place it on his head. It's not a rewarding Easter egg, but it is quite funny. For this next Easter egg, I would recommend you have melee macchiato, and then approaching the vending machine in the Android assembly, which is located here, just punch it and you will get a bunch of loot back from it. Moving on to the musical Easter eggs in the map, because there's quite a few in this one. In the spawn room, you will see there are 3 metal detectors, and looking at them from this side right here, you just want to run through them in the exact same order that I do. There are 2 on the left and 1 on the far right. So run through the one on the far left, run back through the one on the far right, then run through the one on the near left, back through the one on the far left right next to it, and then through the one on the far right and back through the one on the near left. And when you've run through them in that order, your screen will turn white and the song will begin to play.
That tune, like an itch in my brain that cannot be scratched.
Another music Easter egg is the one we have in all of our maps, the headphones. The first pair are in the Mutant Research Lab on this person right here. You will hear a sound coming from them. Go up and interact with them. The next pair of headphones are in the Dark Entity Containment, just under where the Forsaken is, around this person's neck. Interact with them. And then the third pair of headphones are in Richtofen's office on the top floor of Tower 1. In this cupboard, go up to them, interact, and the main song for the map will begin to play. In this next side Easter egg, we are going to be upgrading the caster trap. Now, normally, I don't think traps and zombies are that good anymore, but because it can be upgraded in Reckoning, I think this one's worth it. And especially if you're going for higher rounds, those Uberklauses can be a real pain to kill, but the upgraded version of the caster trap makes it much easier, so I would recommend this. So there are 4 caster traps around the map, 2 in the Forsaken room, and then 2 in the Quantum Computing room. What you want to do is activate the caster trap 5 times. You don't have to get a certain amount of kills with it or kill a specific enemy. You've just got to use the trap a total of 5 times. What I would recommend you do, just to speed this up, is instead of activating the same trap 5 times, purchase the 2 in the Forsaken room, and then purchase the other 2 in the Quantum Computing room, and then wait for them to cool down, and then purchase another one again in the Forsaken room. And when you've brought the trap 5 times, the PA system will now tell you that its memory is full and you need to upgrade its capacity to continue learning. Now, a zombie is going to spawn into the map, and if you kill it, it will drop a hard drive. Pick this up, and then in the Quantum Computing room, using Melee Macchiato, punch this computer, and then you can place the hard drive inside of it. And you now have to protect it until it's finished upgrading. But a little tip for you guys, instead of staying in this room trying to protect it from the zombies, what you can actually do is, as soon as you've put the hard drive in, use the jump pad nearby to go to another tower where the zombies will follow you instead of attacking the computer. Whether this will get patched or not, I don't know, but this is so much easier than having to protect the computer, because on those higher rounds, it can get quite difficult. Whichever you decide to do, protect it or run away like a coward, once it has finished upgrading, on the next round, you can now see you have the 2.0 version of the caster trap, which will make it so its shots no longer hurt you. However, you can upgrade it again, and this time you've got to purchase it a total of 10 times. So again, to speed it up, just purchase the 2 in the Forsaken room, purchase the 2 traps in the quantum computing room, wait for them to cool down, purchase them all again until you've brought it a total of 10 times, in which another zombie is going to spawn in that is holding a hard drive. Kill it, pick it up, place it in the computer, protect it, and once you do so successfully, you will get the caster trap 3.0, which will now make its damage radius bigger. However, you can upgrade it a 4th time, and as you guessed, you've now got to purchase it 15 times. By this point, it's going to get quite expensive, so you might need to go through some rounds to build up more points. But once you've brought the caster trap 15 times, kill the zombie that spawns in, holding the hard drive, place it in the computer, protect it, and you will then get the caster trap 4.0, which will now shoot out the brain rot ammo mod. Like I said, even though it's quite long, I do think if you're going for high rounds, this might be worth doing just as you're playing along. Next up, we have all of the free power-up side Easter eggs. The first one is the max armor. In the spawn room, behind this barrier, on this tank, there is a miniature max armor. These are all going to be very difficult to see, so pretty much you're just going to want to shoot exactly where I am, and when you hit it, the actual power-up will spawn in front of you, and you can pick it up. The free full power is in the mutant research lab. Just look up right here, standing next to where Deadshot is, shoot there, and you will get full power. Double points is in the quantum computer core. This one's the most difficult to see. Essentially, on top of this big center computer, behind the barrier there is like a computer shelf, a hard drive station. I don't know what you call that, and within it is the double points. Again, just shoot where I am because you're probably not going to be able to see it, and if you hit it, it will spawn in. Bonus points is on the top floor of Tower 1. Look up through the window from this angle, shoot right there on the tower, and you will get that. The max armor power up is in the Android assembly room next to the jump pad. Right here, just shoot that and you will get it. Insta-kill can be found in the Forsaken room, right at the back, next to this sign that says employees only, inside of the barrier. Just up here, there is the miniature insta-kill, and then the nuke one is in the pack-a-punch room, just right off the crafting table if you're looking at it, behind these bars. Shoot there, and you will get the nuke. And when you've got all of the power-ups, only then can you get the free fire sale one, which is located back in the spawn area, behind this barrier near quick revive. Shoot right there in the fire, and you will get the free fire sale. The final side Easter egg, because that's exactly what this is, it's not a part of the main quest. You do this on the side, and that's upgrading the wonder weapon. In order to do this, you are first going to need the base version of the gun. If you know how to build it, great, you can skip forward. If not, let me show you. So the first thing I would recommend you do is turn on the power and pack-a-punch. The map literally tells you how to do that, but once you've done so, step 1, you need to head over to the Mutant Research Lab, and in here you are going to find 2 computer screens that are static, and on either of them, for a brief second, a word is going to flash. You need to note down the first letter of both of your 2 words. Yours are going to be different to mine, so the first computer is right here, and the word I got was obsequious. I've never heard that in my life, but its first letter is O, and then come over to the second static screen, which is right here, in which my word was castigate, its starting letter being C. So my 2 letters are O and C. It's going to be totally different for you in your game, and as a reminder, if you do skip around, the words that appear on the monitors in your game will change. Look what words you have on these 2 static screens, take the first 2 letters, and then right here on the periodic table, you need to find those 2 letters, OC or CO. I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to know which way around your letters are supposed to be, but it's super simple. Find your 2 letters on the periodic table and then check which atomic numbers it is associated with. It might be easier if you just search it up, so just type, for example, CO atomic number in Google, and it will tell you the atomic number associated with your element. So mine was CO, which is 27. Again, if you're not sure which way around your letters are supposed to go, is it OC or CO, just note down the element numbers for both. Anyway, once you've got your number, right above here is a keypad. You just need to insert that number into it. But you would have noticed it is a 3-digit keypad, and you may have gotten a 2-digit number. So if that's the case for you, just place a 0 in front of it, so it would be 027. There is an element which equates to the number 100, so you would just type 100 into the keypad. But if that's not the case for you, if you just get a 2-digit number, place a 0 in front of it. This room will then open up. Just come up to this box right here. A quote will be said by Blanchard, and we can move on to step 2. Now you need to kill parasites or vermin next to it. As soon as you start killing zombies in this room, a load of parasites and vermin are going to start spawning in from the zombies. So what you need to do is get 3 vermin souls sucked into this device, and you do that by lowering their health almost to the point of death whilst they're next to it. So as you can see, shoot a vermin near it, and when its health is low enough, it will be sucked inside of this machine. You need to do that for 3 vermin and then 3 zombies. Again, shooting zombies near it, lowering their health, and their souls will then be sucked into it. Once you've done 3 vermin and 3 zombies, you will be able to retrieve this little thing right here. Once you've got it, you then need to make your way to the quantum computing core, this area which has been taken over by the dark ether, and you will find 3 leaking mushrooms that are yellow, which you need to stand by and take their juice. So basically just walk around this area near the yellow glowing mushrooms, and when you approach the right one, you will start taking its energy and suck it into the little ball that you collected from the container. You need to do this a total of 3 times, so when you've collected all of the juice from one of the mushrooms, there will be another one that you can collect its juice from, and then repeat that step a 3rd and final time. I would do this at the end of a round, leaving just 1 zombie, but again, when you've extracted juice from all 3 mushrooms, you will get another quote. The 3rd and final step requires you to come over to the Dark Entity Containment Room, which is where the Forsaken is kept, where you will find a computer that says Initiate Power Source. Go up to it, interact with it, electricity will then travel to the containment chamber, then go to the next computer which says Initiate Power Source, do the exact same thing, that one will light up, go to the next one, do it again, and then initiate the 4th and final computer, and upon doing so, an Uber Klaus is going to spawn. What you now need to do is destroy his 2 shoulder pads to remove his cloaking protection, but be careful, don't kill him, you just want to destroy both of his shoulder pads, which is going to get him to low health anyway, and then lead him onto this electricity pad in front of the containment chamber, and spoiler alert, the Forsaken will take over Uber Klaus's body, and you will now have to fight the Forsaken himself. It is pretty difficult, so you are going to need pack-a-punched weapons and some perks. But yeah, kill him, just like the regular Uber Klaus. Once you destroy his mech suit, a smaller version of him is going to appear. But once you've killed the Forsaken, this purple orb will then appear, and from within it, you are going to be able to collect the Gorgofex wonder weapon. So now that we've got it, in order to upgrade it to the Gorgofex N upgrade, you need to head over to the executive suites, which is near to where Richtofen's office is located, and right here you can interact and talk to Blanchard. Once he's finished saying what he's saying, make your way down to the quantum computing core, the area that's been taken over by the Dark Ether, and in the center right here, you will be able to pick up the Strauss counter off this computer. Once you've picked it up, you can then press L1, or whatever the alternative is on your console, which will bring up the Strauss counter, and you need to use it to make your way to the portion of the map that has a high reading. I don't know if it's going to be the same for everyone, but for me the counter had a high reading in the Android assembly room, so just follow the Strauss counter into the red zone, using it to find a box. The closer you get to it, the higher the number on the Strauss counter is going to be. For me, the box I got a high reading next to was behind this barrier, and you just use a charged shot from the Gorgofex, shooting the box, and it will spit out a life drain serum. Once you've picked that up, make your way back to the mutant research lab to this area, and in the room where we harvested the vermin souls earlier, you will find, laying on the floor, another piece to pick up, which is the clean hood. Once you've got that, the next part is located in the Forsaken room. It is a PC fan, and it should be located just left of the weapons upgrade station. And then the final part are some wires, which you can find if you just make your way to the quantum computer area. Outside, next to these boxes, it is going to be laying on the ground. Press the interactive button, and you will pick it up. Now, go back to the door where Blanchard was, in the executive suite, and on this table right next to it, you can hold the interactive button to assemble all of the parts you just collected into the essence extractor. Then interact with it again to place your vial on it, and a sequence is going to begin where you've got to protect the extractor. So a timer is going to start for 1 minute 20 seconds. Just try and make sure that no zombies attack the extractor. The ones that are going to hit it are the ones with purple eyes. I wouldn't say this is difficult, but you are going to be attacked at the same time as well, so just be careful not to go down and keep your eye on the extractor's health, making sure that it doesn't get too low. But once you've completed this sequence successfully, a little story event is going to happen in which you can collect the vial back off the extractor machine, take it to the mutant research test area again, inside of this room where we started, place the Gorgofex and vial into it, and then interact with it again to infuse the life essence. You are going to need to hold down the interactive button for this section, so if you're doing it solo, it might be best to throw a monkey bomb because the zombies are going to attack you at the same time. But as you can see here, there is enough time for you to do it as long as you've got full health and full armor. If you have one zombie hitting you, you should have enough time before you go down to fully complete this section. But once you've done so, you can then pick it up and you now have the Gorgofex N, which is kind of like the toxic variant, the green version. In order to get the blue version, you can't do this in the same game. You will have to do this in a new. Again, once you've got the base Gorgofex, talk to Blanchard. However, this time, in the spawn room next to the teleporter, there is a button. Press it, and a Klaus robot is going to hack this computer. And during this process, you need to protect him. This is actually quite difficult, especially if you're on a higher round, so you might need to use some power-ups or gobblegums to help you out here. A monkey bomb might come in clutch, because the Klaus actually doesn't have that much health. If you do fail, you can just start again on the next round. But once the progress bar has filled up, one of the elevators either side of you will then shut down, and you have to parachute down that broken elevator and activate some switches. So make your way to the top of that broken elevator by either using the elevator that does work or the teleporters, and then parachute down it and activate the 3 switches on the wall. When you've hit all 3 of them, you will shoot back up, and at the top there will be this blue orb that will disperse around the room and go into zombies. You now need to use the Gorgofex to shoot those zombies that are lighting up blue. And when you've killed enough of them, Blanchard will spawn in front of the computer, say a few things, you can just interact with him, and in return you will get the blue version of the Gorgofex. So there we go, those are all of these side Easter eggs. So there we go, those are all, and I say that because actually there is one more, the Ether Blade, but it's currently locked. You can only get it with the Mr. Peaks field upgrade. However, since that's not available to us, you actually can't get it right now. But these are all of the ones that are available and have been found. I'm willing to bet there are still a couple more in the game, but it may take us a while to solve them. So there we go. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully this has helped you out. Drop a like rating if it has. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.